asked the Guardians to do some things. And I know in this town, it gets a little issue when they talk about money and contract extensions. The draft is coming up. That's important, and I know it is. And I've got a mock draft breakdown of the three guys potentially for the Guardians there at number one. But after watching yesterday, they have to go sign Steven Kwan to an extension today. And you see some of these deals for some of these star players to eat up arbitration, to get a couple extra years in it. It's already cost you more than it would have been if you had done it before the season. And you got to spend some money now to save yourself some money down the road. Because what Steven Kwan has done, batting near 400, and in fact, shout out to Brian Shaw on Twitter, if Steven Kwan gets a hit in his first at-bat tonight, he will be batting 400 for the season. And he needs 20 more at-bats to be qualified to take over the lead for Major League Baseball. You can't find that. You cannot find that out on the street. You can't find that in the draft. Steven Kwan has become one of the most important players to your team. You need to sign him up right now. It's going to actually save you money in the long run to do it now. Guards with a nice one yesterday to get back on track. You're back at it. Mariners to finish this on out. It'd be nice if you could still win the series. There's big potential for that. I do have a mock draft for the Guardians, talking about number one pick for them. Little afternoon special at 1:10 today for the Mariners and Guards. Allen on the hill, get to start. Got our Tipico boost. Plenty of Cavs to get to as well. We'll do that with Spencer Davies coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. What's going on with Borrego, the Donovan Mitchell extension, what he buys into some of these trade rumors. Plenty of football, including a crazy idea that's supposedly getting kicked around with the owners when it comes to a salary cap just for the quarterbacks. We'll discuss that. We got our bracket. We got the grid. We got timeout. We got it all for you right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Guards. It's so funny. I can't live game to game with this team. I'll have a heart attack. Okay? That's just how that's going to go. But last night, Tanner Bybee setting yet another career high. You thought 3-0 giving one down the dick to Josh Naylor was a good idea? Bad idea. 3-0. And you're going to throw one right down the middle for him? That wind tunnel, man. That wind tunnel just got a hold of that ball. Guards with a great win yesterday. Bybee, what did I ask for? A little length, no drama, and the bats are alive. And the bats are led by Steven Kwan. That guy's an animal. And not only that, in fact, he smacked the home run. Like, watching what he does at the top of the lineup is incredible. And I'm not trying to get victim of the moment or being hyperbole. Is he the best leadoff hitter in Guardians history since Kenny Lofton? Like, I'm trying to...
In my lifetime,
like,
yeah.
Seriously, I'm trying to think of that, Ryan. Like, is he the best leadoff hitter the Guardians Indians have had since Kenny Lofton? And I try to run through, because sometimes, Jose had that job for a little bit, and Grady Sizemore, and you tried Miles Straw. Like, that is something, as great as Jose is, Steven Kwan is on his heels of being the second best hitter since the 90s. As far as being a complete hitter. Jose's got a little more pop to his bat. But what Kwan has been doing, and again, doing this coming off of an injury, the tear that he is on, it is not even, it's academic at this point. He's going to the All-Star game. There is absolutely zero way that he does not make the All-Star team. Whether or not he gets voted in, he ain't getting left off by the coaches. That's just not happening. It has been so impressive to watch him hit. And you also watch what he means to the rest of the lineup, right? What he is doing to help out Jose, what he is doing for Josh Naylor. Like, you've got your 1, 3, and 4 hitters locked, doing their jobs. That's what you need in a lineup. You'd like number 2 to step up. If it's going to be Freeman, you like it to be Jimenez, 5, 6, 7, Fry, mixing those guys in, that's fine. You start me with a lineup that your 1, 3, and 4 hitters are doing what they're doing, you can win a lot of baseball games. Comes back to the starter, and yes, again, Bibee was filthy again last night. That seemed to be we're pretty angry here. We're going to take out some anger here on the Mariners. And they're a good team, and today, win the series. That's what I asked. 110 today with Logan Allen. We already got our boost sent over to Tipico. We'll get to that in a little bit. That game just got right. And I can't live that way of game by game, going back and forth and living and dying. But I didn't like where the Guardians were going. I didn't like that little trend that they were on. They erased that. They got back after it. You get a win today, and here we are. I thought about this question this morning, but it's going to be an overwhelming answer. Like, would you sign Steven Kwan to an extension right now? And I seriously, I think the Guardians have got to be discussing this. They have got to be thinking about this right now.
I think the better question, and we've talked about this before, Matt, is who do you think – I want to word this correctly. Who are you giving an extension to if you only had to pick one, Kwan or Naylor?
That's the other question that I thought.
Do you think it's possible
That's
to
exactly
both?
You're right. That's the other question that I thought.
Do you think it's possible for them to extend both? Or not, do you think they would?
I mean, going back to Jason Tatum not having good post-game speeches, anything is possible. I mean, yeah, they can do whatever they want. Anything is possible. I mean, they can do whatever they want. Here's the other thing. I also
will they is the question.
That's the other question. That's the ball of wax we're trying to get after here. I mean, I also was in a world before Shane Bieber got hurt. I wanted a Shane Bieber extension. And I was going to pitch that as he wasn't probably going to get what he thought on the open market. Here's $85 million over 5. Like, you go to Steven Kwan. Now, the thing about Kwan is he still has arbitration left. Do most people know what baseball arbitration is? Can I explain that real quick? Yeah. So baseball contracts are a little fluky, right? Where a lot of guys, if you're a high draft pick, you get a giant fat wad of cash when you get drafted. By the way, when I get to this mock draft for baseball, that might be rearing its ugly head about who the Guardians going to take number 1 overall. But we'll get to that in a second. So then it starts with your service time and the manipulation. Remember when Chris Bryant, when the Cubs sent him down for a week to start the season because it actually gave them a full extra year of control? There's games to be played. So then you play, I think it's 3 years? 3 years of service. And then you hit 3 years of what is called arbitration. Arbitration, and the Guardians Indians had a long streak of not going to arbitration. What that means is starting next year, Steven Kwan and the Guardians have to come up with a value of what he is for the team. And you hear records like Lindor, for a time, set a record for the highest arbitration money in history. It's like $12, $14, $15 million, something like that. And what it is if you can't come to an agreement, you go to a third-party arbitrator. What they don't like about that is you sit in a room and you basically have to rip your player, where the Guardians would file at a number. And they say, Steven Kwan, we think you're worth $8 million. And Steven Kwan goes, really? Because I think I'm worth 12. And if they can't come to an agreement, they go to an arbitrator who then decides what his actual value is. That can get ugly because the team would sit down and go, yeah, he thinks he's all great, but look at these advanced stats. He's not that good. That gets back to the players. That's why for a long time, they had a great streak of not going to arbitration because it's ugly and nasty and it pisses your players off. So they would come to an agreement. Steven Kwan cannot leave the Guardians for another 3 years. You want to know a crazy thing, Ryan? He is not an unrestricted free agent until he's 30. This is his age 26 season. You have him for 27, 28, and 29, as long as you want him here. And that was Lindor. Lindor was in the last year of arbitration for the Indians when they traded him away because they knew they couldn't sign him to an extension. He, on this season, just this season, is making $757,000. That's a lot of money to you. That's a lot of money to me. He's worth about $70 million right now to what he's doing for the Guardians. So the Guardians could sit down with him and say, we are going to eat up these 3 years of arbitration, and you give us a few extra years of what would be your free agent time. It's not so easy to snap your fingers and say you do that because you got to look at the forecast of what this team is going to be. You expect to be competing in 2026, 7, 8, 29, which seems so far away, but it ain't. And if you think your team is going to be competing, you go try to sign Stephen Kwan right now. Now, the flip side to that is Stephen Kwan going, hey, I know that there's a buttload of money out there potentially waiting for me. What you sell him on is a lot of things can happen in 3 years. You got to strike while the iron is hot. Stephen Kwan can't. He can't do anything right now, which is why I think the arbitration system is pretty stupid in baseball. But that's what the rules that we live in, and it has helped the Guardians for a long time. So if you sit down with them and say, you got under control for the next 3 years. Here's a 5-year extension. And I don't know, $100 million, 20 a year. That doesn't sound, you signed Emmanuel Clase to $25 million over 5 years. This is a little different. You go to Kwan, you say, we'll eat up some of this arbitration. And that's a balance, right, of like knowing like we're going to save ourselves a couple of bucks. What you're doing is you're paying the piper now to get a couple of years on a deal, on what Stephen Kwan eventually could get on the open market. But you got to ask yourself, are you going to be competing in 5 years? Do you feel like this is a team that they got to count every penny? Is that a move you'd make? On top of the fact, what he means to this town, just frankly, how insanely good he is right now, too. And I might be victim of the moment here. But if I'm the Guardians with Blitzer, too, like we can't forget that. If there really is an ownership change on the horizon, do you go make that move? I'm not counting the money. So I say unequivocally, yes. Like without a doubt, yes. You go and make that move. But then you come up with a guy like Josh Naylor, right? He eventually, and let me pull up Josh Naylor's contract again. So you have Stephen Kwan for 3 years after this season.
I'm pretty sure this is the last year of Naylor.
I think it is too. I think it's his
didn't they extend him in like a 1 year?
Well, that's the arbitration takeover, $6.5 million. They avoided arbitration. He's got 1 year of arbitration next year. And then he could potentially leave. So do you go to Josh Naylor and say, we'll eat some of the arbitration? See, that's different. Eating just 1 year of arbitration doesn't really help the Guardians. Eating 3 years of arbitration for Stephen Kwan, that's something that I look at a lot more. So you posted the question, right, about which one. Oh, do you want to post? I mean, here's the thing. Is everybody just going to go Kwan?
I don't think so. I mean, you have a dude who went yard twice yesterday, so now I think it's going to be pretty even.
That's the other thing, and I'm asking the fans to maybe understand some of the inside stuff here with the contracts.
They're such different players. You have a guy that is just the most consistent, Tony Quinn reincarnate, and then you have Josh Naylor, who's just a slugger and goes gap to gap.
Yeah, I mean, and then you still have Jose Ramirez that's not going anywhere. And that was a lid lifter where we know Jose had a big hand in that.
So you want to do that? Which one would you?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I have a feeling you can post it. I mean, it's not like we got a rule against it. You can post whatever you want. But I'm just wondering if this is going to be an overwhelming, like, 80-20 on Stephen Kwan. Like, the guy is insane right now. He is so good right now. And I'm fine with that. And that's, like, the pressure that's on the Guardians. Right now, I'm asking them to go for it here. And the thing is, again, needing to count dollars, would you sacrifice some money that you might use in a trade? And I'm talking about money that you might have to take on to say we're not extending, or we can't get an extension for Stephen Kwan because this money's got to go this way. It sucks. I don't like where it's at, but it is. And you go to Stephen Kwan, again, I made up a number, 5 years for $100 million. You're going to Stephen Kwan and saying, dude, you're getting $100 million guaranteed. Taxes be damned, but you're getting $100 million. That will set you for the rest of your life. And then you're 32 when this is all said and done. You still maybe go back for another one. That's why baseball is so broken in a lot of different ways. And I get it because you sign rookies to deals and sometimes they don't pan out and you want to hit free agency. Baseball, I was always told about this. Baseball, you get paid for what you have done prior. Football, you get paid for what they expect you to do in the future. I think basketball is probably more baseball. You get paid for what you've done in the past. But why did Garrett Cole get all the money that he got? Because of what he did in the past, right? Any hitter, what have they done? That's what you get, this ridiculous Anthony Rendon deal. That's why you get some of these just horrible deals. And baseball, there's a lot. I mean, that's not different than basketball or football. But baseball's got probably more than any of deals that you just go, well, that guy got what? The hell were they thinking? I don't want to get that Stephen Kwan. I'd rather hold on to him for as long as I can. And like Jose, I'd like him to be here. There's no part of his game that you look at and you feel like this is going to fall off a cliff. Because that could be another part of it, right? Do you feel like this is something he can sustain for another 5 years? I know I do. He's only getting better. He's only getting better. And now, especially that the shift has been outlawed, that only helps a guy like him. I'll tell you this, man. He wouldn't be batting 396 if the shift was still in place. That just wouldn't be it. Nobody would be. But the fact that he's, 40 points, I think he's even 60 points ahead of some of the other guys. And he's not leading baseball just because he needs 20 more at-bats. He'll have that by the weekend. You'll be good to go, and he'll be back at top of that. Gaudy numbers right now from Steven Kwan.
I asked you this like a week ago, I think it was. If Steven Kwan bats 400 on the year, you think automatically MVP? You think he'd really get it? To do that, you would have to do something like that is just so immensely That's what I'm asking.
unattainable.
That's what I'm asking.
I mean, who'd you say the favorites right now? Juan Soto?
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge, maybe. He's going to
They're
maybe
1 and 2. They're in the rankings.
I'm sure they are. Like, you don't have to deal with Shohei in the AL anymore. By the way, he's still leading in the NL. Is he really still the MVP when he's not pitching? In the betting side of things.
Shohei?
Yeah. He's the betting favorite right now.
Yeah. I mean, go look at his numbers.
I guess you're right. Of qualified hitters, which again, Kwan will be there. Bobby Witt's batting 323, as is Jurickson Profar. Shohei batting 317. He's got 20 home runs, which is tied for third in baseball. And he's already got 20 doubles. He's already 20-20 before the All-Star break in the NL side of things. But Marcell Ozuna's right there too. Marcell Ozuna has the same amount of home runs, and he's only batting 1 point behind Shohei Ohtani. So I wonder about that with him pitching. But again, your leaders right now are 323. At bats, Bobby Witt has 303. How many does Steven Kwan have? Because again, he's just not qualified yet. Steven Kwan at this point of the season, missing the time that he did, he has only 184 at bats. So he's like a full 100 behind. Projected on the season to have 420 at bats. 60 set. What's that average? See, the other thing is they only project him to play in 103 games from ESPN. Talking about Kwan. So that's where naysayers should probably
what, like 20 games?
Yeah.
So they project. Why do they project him to miss?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Like 40 more.
I don't know. It's a good question. 184 at bats. If they give him 90, I'm sorry, that's 167. They project him to bat 397.
Dude.
They project him to have 167 hits and 420 at bats. That's a 397 average.
What's the record for hits in a season? Ichiro, right?
Yeah.
It's like 250.
Well, that again, he's going to miss that because
I know he's not going to get it.
He's not going to get it because he missed so much time. But I mean, when you do something like that, yeah, but I would still say, unfortunately, he ain't going to win that. He's not going to do it because it'll go to the home run hitters. That's what they feel. And then if you really want to play the game out of how many games they actually are in, that's going to hurt him. But if you post a question, I'll hit the retweet on that, man. I'm interested.
Wait, how many hits is Kwan at right now?
Give me 2 seconds here. Steven Kwan. Hang on. The hell did I put him? I got too many tabs. We got a lot of stuff to get to today, by the way. Steven Kwan.
Dude, if he was healthy, I could low-key see him breaking Ichiro's record.
Yeah, maybe next year. Maybe next year, sure. I'm sorry, what did you ask? How many hits he already has?
Yeah.
He has 73 hits and 184 at-bats.
That's
73 hits.
That's unbelievable.
5 home runs, 2 triples, 10 doubles. 41 runs scored. Struck out 14 times. He's walked 18 times. He has more RBIs than he has strikeouts. 20 RBIs, 14 strikeouts. Like, the guy's a machine, man. He's a machine. He's so good. And again, coming back to our question, like, okay, you know where I'm at with Josh Naylor. I like Josh Naylor. I don't think you can find me a Steven Kwan. I don't think you can just find me a Steven Kwan somewhere else. So I'm very clearly going Steven Kwan on our vote this morning. Ryan, cast your vote, please.
I'm going Steven Kwan too, but it's a balance of, like I said, in today's modern MLB, I mean, you need dudes that are just hitting, as the guys down in Cincy like to say, piss missiles.
Oh, yeah.
And it's tough. Well, you need both, because when you get to the later months and you get to playoff baseball and you're playing teams, you can't live off of singles. You need guys that are getting you doubles, getting you triples, and getting you bombs. Like that's what you need. And that's what Josh Naylor provides. But even got a guy like Quan. I mean, he hit some not a decent amount of home runs, but for a
he's not a
hitter,
slappy guy. I mean, he obviously you saw yesterday. Like he can hit some power. He can get some power when he gets it right. The wind tunnel's doing it, man. Maybe they just did that for Steven Kwan. Go to him like Steven. We changed our whole ballpark.
But then you balance too. Josh Naylor, I don't think a very pedestrian first baseman.
No, I don't.
And then you got Quan, who's going to be, by the way, it's all said and over, like a 7-time Gold Glove winner in his career.
That's another thing too. He's electric in the field too.
And then when you're on the bases, he's dangerous on the base path too.
So I'm saying he's 5-tool player. He can do it all, which is really exciting to see.
And our vote's not even close.
I didn't think it would be. I really didn't think it would be. I thought it was going to be heavy Steven Kwan on that. So get that. I'm just telling you, I guarantee you, as smart as the Guardians are, that's come across the desk. That's at least been a discussion. And I keep going back to the Blitzer money. Whenever that's going to happen. It's not the time for this conversation, but like, you know where I'm at with the Dolans. I've given them credit for having to play a different game. They're not these uber rich owners. People want them to sell because they're not. I think eventually they will sell. It'll be fine.
Let me put it this way. I think I would be able to stomach a lot more seeing Josh Naylor on the Yankees or Dodgers than I could Steven Kwan.
No, that's another part of this too. The guy you don't want to see go.
Yeah.
And if you were one of those teams, they're both here for another 7 years. There is no debate. Sometimes things like this have to happen to force action. I want it to be that the Guardians do not have a choice. They had a choice with Francisco Lindor. And as good as he was and is, I feel like it's a little different for Kwan. Naylor, not so much. I could draw those comparisons of like, and again, Naylor is not the player Lindor is. But like with the amount of time that you have left, you could say the same thing. Don't you think that the Guardians look back on their time with Lindor and say, maybe we should have given him that extension? Now, he can tell you to go kick rocks. He can tell you to go piss off and go, I ain't signing that because I know what I'm going to get in free agency. But, of course, Lindor comes back and he goes, maybe I should have stayed. Like, that has to factor in. Where you're at, the team that you're on, you have to at least offer it. You know the old saying is sometimes you have to hear them say no? Make Steven Kwan say no. Give him that deal. At least open that channel up. And get some of the fans off your ass. If it's leaked out that they're at least thinking about this, then that's some goodwill bought for the fans. I'd be doing it. That's just me. We'll see. Now, that's not the only big decision the Guardians have this year. On top of their extensions, on top of the trades, then we get to the draft. And I think, again, I'm not asking everybody to be all in on the draft and stuff like that. But there's a lot of names that we know. Charlie Condon, Georgia, home run guy. Travis Bazzana, Oregon State, infielder, really good player. That Jack Caglione guy from Florida who just hit a home run the other night. But now there's a new name. And this comes off the heels of some of the things that's starting to pick up steam, which is going to pain me to say. That money is going to factor into this draft pick. Baseball draft, it's slotted. Guys get money, but guys can get some ridiculous money for being a top pick, and they negotiate that. This goes back a long, long way. This has been a thing in the baseball draft for a long time, where you go back and you go, oh my God, how could that team pass on this guy? And they go, because we couldn't pay him. Because we knew that Scott Boras was his agent and he's going to drive a hard bargain. And we can't do that. So we got to go take some high school kid who will take a couple of $1 million versus tens or whatever it might be for somebody else.
Oh, this is a high school kid, the name?
No. No, it's not. I'll tell you this. And this article says this. There are top prospects out of high schools. There always are. They ain't going to be the first overall pick. They're not going to be. It's going to be a college guy. And the new one on this mock draft this morning from ESPN and Kylie McDaniel is J.J. Weatherholt, shortstop, West Virginia. And the write-up is the money that we're talking about. Here's a deep look at how the pick will shape the rest of the draft and how it could play out. I mentioned in my previous draft of the silly rumors that were full swing that those in the industry were guessing what value-based play Cleveland would make with the top pick. The Guardians are casting a wide net in their conversations with representatives for their players. The Guardians could have Chase Burns, their top college pitcher, Cam Caminiti, like Ken Caminiti's kid, top prep pitcher. Connor Griffin is the top prep position player. But he writes, I don't think the Guardians could justify taking those with the number 1 overall pick. That leaves 4 players for the considering. Again, the ones we know. Condon, Bazzana, Caglione, and Weatherholt. He writes, McDaniel writes, Condon is the best player in this draft in my mind, but also to a majority of evaluators. The buzz on Cleveland and what they think about him is mixed. Now, that could be smokescreen, but that could also be we're taking him with the pick we know.
What's the point of the smokescreen, though, if you're 1?
To see, I don't know, play games with the money, I guess, screw up somebody else, I don't know. Condon's bonus price is perceived to be the highest of this group as he is the consensus best player, is a lock to go in the top 3. Bazzana fits the Guardians' draft style a little bit more. Thus, he's the common industry guess for who Cleveland will actually take. He also won't cut a likely huge deal. He won't take a giant cut because he's also not going to fall past 4, and his camp knows he fits what Cleveland likes. There have been heavy rumors and hard information. The Guardians have been all over Caglione since this spring. He's got the elite tools you expect out of a top overall pick, and there's a lure that dropping pitching will accelerate his growth at the plate because he also pitches in college too. He's ultimately a corner-only, not particularly polished hitter that doesn't fit Cleveland's history. And then brings us back to Weatherholt. He's a major league shortstop and is definitely an infielder. He's basically above average at everything, ranging in the elements of hitting of all traditional 5 physical tools. He's devalued a bit in playing the Big 12 rather than the SEC or the ACC, who are much better, and he missed half the season with a hamstring strain, while not having a conventional physical look of a number 1 overall pick. What, is he short?
I was just about to say, is he short?
What? I don't know. Hang on here. JJ
That's
Weatherholt.
so funny. You just took the words out of my mouth.
JJ Weatherholt. He's only 5'10". He's only 5'10", $190. 5'10", $190. So he's not some 6'4" hulking guy. Then he brings up the final thing, the bonus price. The slot for the first pick is $10.5 million. Here's $10.5 million to a guy before he sees a first pitch of rookie Arizona ball. The player is guaranteed to be offered 75% of that figure if he submits to the NFL Draft Combine Medical, and he assumes all players will. The 75% of that would be basically $8 million. So when you talk about it, do you go with a guy that you could save $3 million on?
No.
Versus a guy that might actually be the first overall
That makes
guy.
me want to throw up thinking about that.
That's something they got to think about.
$3 million?
I'm just saying, that's what's kicking me here. They go with Weatherholt as a preferred type of player, fits their prioritization
Put up one more
of
progressive
bonus
sign.
pool money. And if he takes 75% of that, Cleveland saved $3.5 million for the remaining of the picks.
Out of here. Just put up another progressive sign and have him send you a check.
I don't know. I'm just saying. This town, and especially if down the road Charlie Condon becomes the next Aaron Judge.
$3 million.
You'd be throwing up.
Give me a break.
I'm just saying that's some of the scuttlebutt coming around now. It's not going to just be the top player for being the top player. It's going to be how much can you trade or how much can you sign him for? What's the deal? And that, again, is exactly what baseball has been for a long time. There have been guys that they don't draft at this position because they know they're going to have struggles trying to sign that guy. Where other teams just throw money. The Yankees wipe their butts with $3 million. They don't care. They'll waste that money all the live long day. Guardians got to play a different game, though. I hope that's where Blitzer comes in. And that's what Mike tweets. He goes, you got Blitzer with the more financial resources. They pass on Condon because of money. I'm going to lead the mob march to the front office down there at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. Their new building's going up. Where the f***'s that money going?
Unreal. State bonds.
I was going to say, can we start a sin tax for Charlie Condon?
I want Bazzana.
A condiment tax? Is that what we should be doing around this town? No. The Bazzana tax. What are you going to tax for Trevor Bazzana? Travis Bazzana.
Bananas?
Bananas?
I eat a lot of bananas.
My son loves bananas. What about Caglione? Pasta.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a big...
Breadsticks.
In this town, that'd get a lot of taxing, man. Especially if you fold in pierogies as a part of pasta or a type of pasta. That tax will go through the roof. Send that over to the Haslams. Let's impart a pasta tax here in Cuyahoga County.
I'm so hungry. That sounds so good.
We had pasta. We had ravioli last night. Little spinach cheese ravioli. Dude, my kid, my 3-year-old, he doesn't eat pasta and he doesn't like chicken nuggets. I go, who are you?
Kids are really strange.
These I mean,
my
honestly,
one cousin, she when she was younger, she wouldn't eat a hot dog, but
he
she would.
loves hot dogs,
But
I'll
listen
give
to
you
this: she wouldn't eat a hot dog, but she would only eat a corn dog, but take off all the bread and eat the. It was the same.
corn
thing.
dogs are delicious.
But she was just tweaking.
Corn
about
dogs
it.
are
Like it was a total mental thing.
I mean, there's only one thing that he would eat every single night, and he would if I could, and that's macaroni and cheese. So we got to split. We only try to do that twice a week. We put other stuff in front of him, but there's something about it. I don't know, man. I don't know. He's got to knock that crap off.
Buffalo chicken, mac and cheese.
I tell him, I go, bro, I will give you ranch. You know, you're trying not to give so many condiments to the kids and stuff like that. I was like, I will give you ranch. Any night that you actually sit down and eat chicken nuggets, I will give you ranch. He goes, no. He doesn't even like Chick-fil-A sauce. He doesn't even like Chick-fil-A nuggets.
That's crazy.
I go, you're an outlier for 3-year-olds here, man.
He's got a small palate.
Well, the other thing is, I think he got wise to us. You know, they sell chicken nuggets that hide vegetables in them now. So you can go to the store. Yes, you can go to the store and get your Purdue chicken nuggets, you know, just the big bag at Costco and just go to town, right? So they sell healthier ones now that have some chicken, but then they sneak in veggies. I think he figured us out. I think he did, because now he's just completely turned off of chicken nuggets. And I'm like, come on, man, what are you doing?
You ruined them for him.
Well, no, you know what it ruined was us. Because you can't get him to eat anything. It's where it is. But we'll get a tax going. We'll get a tax going to get Charlie Condon here, Trevor Brazana, Caglione will be the pasta tax. Past that, dude, the Haslams would have a heart attack. They go, we can't even get money for a stadium, and you want money for a track. We're just making this up, folks, and we're just not serious. What would be the tax for the new stadium?
Guitars.
What if we made the stadium in the shape of a guitar?
Oh God. Can you tweet that and like?
No, I will not tweet that.
Please.
No. The strings can be the roof. It could go out into the lake. It could go out over there by the parking lot. You know, tell me the Rolling Stones wouldn't want to come back and play in a guitar.
Facts.
Billy Joel and Rod Stewart Coyne aren't guitar players, but maybe they'd enjoy that. Just do a giant guitar. There's our idea. There it is. So trying to think of all these weird taxes we can do. What's the Donovan Mitchell tax? Mitchell's ice cream? I would be paying heavy into that tax, buddy. Let me tell you. We hit up that Mitchell's in Rocky River quite a few times. We're going to talk a lot of basketball this morning. Spencer Davies is going to join us at 10. Really, the only thing primer for that, Bobby Marks went through and he did all the eligible extension stars and what they mean for the team. And he went to Donovan Mitchell, the quick write-up, as we know. 4 years, $108 million. Did you know this, though? So, Mitchell, because this is another game that they could play. Mitchell could sign a 3-year extension with a player option as the 4th year. That'd be 3 years, $51 million. $151 million. $151 million. So 50 a year for 3 years with a player option for the final.
4,205?
Or 4,205. So you get more by signing the 4,205. Then, in 27 and 8, Donovan will have accrued 10 years of service. He will be eligible for 5 years, $381 million. Woo!
Will he be worth it then?
I hope he'll be here to even have that conversation. The selling point, as Bobby writes, will be what they can do to make their trades and make them happen. Garland and Jared Allen, which, again, we know. I can't wait to get Spencer's read on all that. And he said what to expect. He believes that Mitchell and Cleveland will agree on a 4-year, $208 million extension, and that includes a player option in the last year. So that's what he thinks is going to happen. So we'll see how that plays out with basketball on the side of it, and I'm excited to talk to Spencer coming up at 10, especially about the head coaching search. To flip it over to football, I wanted to leave some room for this because I think that this is such an interesting idea that's gaining no traction. So this came out from NFL Media, and Tom Pelissero explained this on the Rich Eisen show, that apparently the NFL owners privately discussed the possibility of a separate cap for just the quarterbacks. So we know the landscape that we sit in today with the quarterbacks. $55 million, gone. 25% of your salary cap on a 53-man roster is tied up in your quarterback. Quarterback, most important position in sports. We get that. Watson with his deal and all of that. So the owners sit down and they're trying to come up with ideas of how we can curb this. Right now, it's not good. Imagine where it's going to be in 4 years. And imagine when some of these deals turn sour. Just saying. The NFL owners are going to be pissed. We spent this money. We can't get rid of it. So their idea was kind of, maybe we separate this for just the quarterbacks. Then you get into all, remember when Jimmy Graham got bitching about the franchise tag and he goes, I'm not a tight end, I'm a receiver. I want to get paid like a receiver. He changed his Twitter bio to pass catcher. He went to a bunch of stats about how much time he lined up in the slot. He lost, by the way. They paid him as a tight end, not a receiver. So you'd have all that, which would be interesting. But here's an idea that Pelissaro noted that I actually think is brilliant. And it's what I just got done talking about with Donovan Mitchell. Why don't you do super max and max deals for quarterbacks? Why don't you adopt an NBA model that says if you hit certain benchmarks, you then become eligible for super max or max extensions? And he says the current, again, is restrictions for free agent long-term contracts while limiting the number of players teams can sign to a certain dollar amount, while capping the percentage of the salary cap of what is owed to these certain players. And then you would also say that you got to, be an all-pro. You've got to go to this mark of the Super Bowl or whatever the case may be. But the idea reportedly has not gained much traction with NFL owners because there are a lot of teams that still haven't had to pay their quarterback yet, which I don't understand. Do they not see the future? Do they not see where this is going? You would think even if you haven't signed Tua to a deal yet, if you're the McNairs in Houston, you know what CJ Stroud is going to ask for. You know what he's going to get. I would think that this would be damn near unanimous, that they would jump on this to say, yeah, let's get some parameters in place. Now, you've also got to clear that with the NFLPA. Here's your sell point to the PA. Hey, you let us put these supermax in. That allows then more money to be spent for other guys. That allows money for wide receivers, and not that they're not getting paid, but linemen, running backs, there's more money to be spent. But the owners still have to spend the money. Just because they save it doesn't mean they're going to spend it. But I thought that was so interesting to hear that this is not gaining traction. The other point that got raised, what if an NFL team feels forced into a cost-prohibitive deal for a quarterback, yet has to warrant the total commitment of a supermax, and the team cannot always simply sign said quarterback? It's easier said than done in a league where total quarterback reset brings plenty of risk. That's the biggest conundrum. NBA players, they're usually playing for a long time. Quarterbacks can play for a long time, but and I'm not saying that, again, a supermax NBA player can't tear an ACL or get hurt or things like that. But I really thought this was an inventive way to try to curb some of this, because it is getting bad. And I guess the comeback is you sign your quarterback and you get him on a deal. Everybody's got to deal with this, right? Everybody's going to feel the pain as long as you have a quarterback. And what you don't want is Russell Wilson. What you don't want is maybe Deshaun Watson, where you sign him to this deal and then they just give you nothing. Like, they're nothing of what you expected them to be.
Monty
Williams. That bombshell yesterday. That was insane. But the thing is, can you get everybody on board with that? There are teams like Bryce Young, the Panthers, they don't care because they consider it a good problem if Bryce Young turns into that quarterback. And then also, you see this, I don't want to say sometimes in the NBA, but guys that are Supermax eligible. What would be your parameters for a quarterback Supermax? All pro? Well, that's tough because there's only two of those, right? First and second team All Pro. Or do they do two quarterbacks
That's a great
on each?
Question.
Because basketball's got 15 guys.
No, it's one quarterback, I think.
Yeah, it might only be. So then you talk about Pro Bowls, which are useless.
Yeah, no, because then you'd have Tyler
I would not
Huntley
put that in
You'd
there.
have Tyler Huntley signed it.
No, that ain't happening.
That's a great question.
Basketball's got 15 guys that make all NBA, plus all defense, plus MVP, plus defensive player of the year. And these players are eligible for all of it. Patrick Mahomes isn't eligible for defensive player of the year.
That's a great question.
What are your parameters? Is it playoff related? Because
No,
then a
it can't be.
quarterback
It can't
goes,
be.
it can't be because I could be doing all these
no.
things and my team sucks.
Can't be.
So there's no way to put a parameter around this. It's just going to have to be the wild, wild west. What do you think about the idea of you separate that?
I mean, I enjoy it. I like it. I like
What
the
if
thought
you
of it.
say the quarterback, but then the owners don't like that because if you separated it and you said maybe there is no cap, then owners, dude, $100 million a year, $100 million a year, like you know what I'm saying? Like if there's nothing to keep this relative, and then the quarterbacks, even in the current situation, none of these guys are taking deals with the Tom Brady go, we still need to keep this team together. Still need to pay some of these other guys. And I'm not blaming Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence for that. This is your money, man. You go take it. But you got nothing to pay anybody else. It's like the NBA. We'll pay 2 or 3 stars and hope everybody else shows the hell up. That's why, man, from what I've seen and with how built this Browns team is, I'd rather have a Geno Smith here. I'd rather have a guy 30, 35 million a year. That's it. Because again, you would believe that they can play the system here. With as good as the Browns are, I shouldn't need a $45 million a year quarterback. Now, I got one. You're not playing to that level. But that's maybe it's like it's yin and yang. Do you start with your quarterback? Do you start with the team? And I would always lean towards you start with your quarterback because you don't got a quarterback, you're blanking into the win. It doesn't matter at all. But to save that money to go somewhere else to do it, do you think the NFL has a problem with their quarterback situation and the contracts that are getting handed out? Do you think they actually need to do something? Or, hey, this is the world that we're living. The money is going to go up in the cap. And there you go.
I don't know.
I'm kind of leaning towards you're going to have to deal with this.
I mean,
like you're just going to have to deal with
when
it.
CJ Stroud signs his extension in 40 years? Or, I mean, it could be earlier than that, but
3, 4, yeah.
He'll make more. I read he'll make more money in that contract than Tom Brady made his whole Patriots career.
Yeah,
and in 10 years from now, that's just going to be double that. It's
well,
I don't know how you fix it.
Well, and that's the NFL of the money is only going up with these TV deals, and that it's so interesting to see the salary cap that is in basketball that is similar to the one in football, and they have 5 times the amount of guys. 5 times. You still got to fit your $1 million a year linebacker in that deal.
It's just a problem because you have people. No quarterback should be making more money than Patrick Mahomes if you were being like, if it made realistic
sense.
Right,
but he obviously took the deal of I want the long-term deal security, $400 million in my bank.
Because you have then you have teams like the Titans who are throwing $25 million a year at 30-year-old Calvin Ridley.
Well, then it's also a lot of the non-guaranteed money. Basketball, all those contracts are guaranteed. Football, you got to pull teeth to get guaranteed money. And then incentives and then all this other kind of stuff. I do think the NFL, while they're not broken right now, it could be very soon. And it's never as simple as snapping your fingers and saying, we're going to make a change. Unions got to agree to this crap too. And I always want to tie this back to the Cleveland Browns because I think about this, Ryan. Would that not hinder the Browns? Because they've been doing just fine the way that it is. Andrew Berry would actually get penalized in a new system because he's kicking the living crap out of the current one. Is there anybody on the Browns you're not worried about with a contract? Feel pretty good about it. Amari Cooper needs one. You believe he'll get one. Andrew Berry is so good at playing these games. I don't want to change the game because he's doing just fine. Even with the Watson deal weighing him down, dragging around a 50-pound weight behind him the whole time. Like, and again, if Watson was leading you to a Super Bowl, nobody'd be bitching. Nobody had a single thing to say. Oh, by the way, ESPN this morning, I don't know if you saw me tweet this. Aaron Shaz went around every team and one last move to make before training camp. You know what his was for the Browns? Extend Jed Wills. Not Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I knew you were going to say that. You want a line that's going to get you twisted here? Here we go.
Please.
Will's contract, we know, was restructured this offseason to give the Browns some cap space, got a bunch of void years tossed in the end. But effectively, the Browns will lose their starting left tackle after this year without giving him a new deal. We know, coming off torn MCL. But this is Aaron Schatz. This is not me. He has been one of the top young tackles in the league. Last season, he ranked 8th amongst tackles in pass block win rate in a short amount of time. Did he not even just play half the season?
Yeah, he did.
Got Dwan Jones waiting. That is an under the radar thing that we don't think about with all the money that's got. What are you going to do with left tackle? You want to extend Jed Wills, and the Browns keep saying this, and I get where they're coming from. He's not bad. He's not bad. He's average to maybe when he's on a little above average. The guy just gets hurt all the time. All the time. So I don't want to turn that into a revolving door over there. You think it's so easy to I am still of the mindset you just leave Dwan Jones at right tackle. You leave him there and you find something else for that. Maybe that is an extension for Jed Wills. And maybe that's a position that you skimp on a little bit. You know, you don't have Trent Williams over there. You don't have Jordan Mailata over there. So you just give a mid-level deal to a guy like Jed Wills and say, we're going to have to deal with a mid-level left tackle and find other ways to come around that. So the money that, again, Barry's playing with and all that going through, I don't know if a new idea of what football would do. I think we're doing just fine.
What would you have to pay Jed a year?
Let me look at left tackle contracts in the NFL. Over the cap. Cap? Is that cap?
It's going to be like $15 million.
Okay, so the number one left tackle in football is Laramie Tunsil, $25 million a year. Andrew Thomas, who just got a new deal, $23.5. Trent Williams, 23. Jordan Mailata is 22. Deion Dawkins of the Bills is 20. Jake Matthews of the Falcons, 18.5. Colton Miller of the Raiders, 18. Cam Robinson of the Jags, 17. Garrett Bowles, 17 for the Broncos. Orlando Brown, 16.
Yeah.
What would you say to, like, would you rather have Taylor Decker of the Lions or Jed Wills? Taylor Decker's battled injuries too.
Yeah, I don't know.
But just as a price point, you think they're similar? That's $14 million a year.
That's fine. Like
15, more 14.9. So you're talking about $15 million a year.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's your 15 a year. There's your 15 a year. That's what I would offer to Jeff. 3 years. And by the way, this past season, he made $4.9 million on that. Give him 3 years, $45 million. No, that does 15 a year. I was thinking 25. I'm so drunk on the receivers. No, here's your 15, and you deal with a $15 million a year left tackle. He's fine. He's good. He's all right. He's average. But I just thought it was interesting that this is not getting. Again, we started talking about this, that there's some scuttlebutt about the owners trying to come up with a way to fix this thing about the quarterbacks just getting paid a buttload of money. Whether you go Supermax, which I don't think is plausible, separate it all together, change the cap. I mean, the simple answer is you just keep it the way that it is, and we'll just keep adding money to the cap. Because even if you came to it and you said, all right, maybe it's 50 cents on a dollar here. Maybe every dollar you spend on a quarterback, you get a rebate, 50 cents back. Well, then you would just go, all right, well, then we're going to reduce the salary cap. That's not fair. And the other thing, the owners, are they still going to spend that money on left tackles and receivers and tight ends and all that other kind of stuff? Not necessarily. They're going to start with the quarterback. And especially with the draft, every year you get your cheap talent in the draft. If you ace a draft pick, you get 5 years of that guy on the cheap. That is what the NFL has turned into. You find a quarterback, pay them a lot of money, and everybody else, and again, you pay your Myles Garretts, you pay your Grant Delpits, you pay your Denzel Wards, and everything else is just, we'll draft the guy. We'll draft the guy. Thank God we get our draft picks back.
Yeah, dude. Oh, my God.
And you just keep going with that, man. You just keep finding your guy. You play it on out there. All right, a lot of stuff to get to in hour two, including Spencer Davies. He's going to join us coming up at 10 o'clock, and we're going to do everything basketball. Where's Borrego? Is Monty Williams in on this thing? Donovan Mitchell's relationship with Jared Allen. That is all coming up with Spencer Davies at 10 o'clock. Do you, 1 o'clock, let's go. Jose is due, man. I feel like it's been a week, right? For him. Yeah. I know he was on paternity list. How about a home run for his new kid? Let's go. Jose home run. We'll go Naylor RBI today. And Guards money line. Ryan, what do we boost it up to? A healthy
plus 1,700.
Let's go Tipico. I should do that more. Let's go Tipico. Let's go Tipico. New commercial for them, right?
Jason Tatum. It's not like Jason Tatum.
Bad, man. Bad. Tipico, folks, right there. Sorry, you need my face, not yours. Sign it on in. Let's roll. Fontana 100 is the code. Ooh, what bet did I hit yesterday? Oh, I lost it. No, I thought I did. Oh, I lost a Nerfy yesterday. Damn it! That's all right. Code Fontana150 when you get signed up with Tipico. Here's how it works. You deposit $150. You will get two $75 protected bets. So here's what you do. And I want people to understand. You still bet that $75. And you win that, you're going to cash that. If you don't, you get the protected bet on back. You know what I actually, you know what I bet last night, Ryan? I had a $5 protected bet from the NBA that I used on our boost last night. So that's what I was thinking of because my dollars were about the same. How about a protected soccer bet? You can earn a $25 bet credit if a grand slam is hit on the hit in the game that you bet on. The Copa America tournament is on. I didn't. I should be pushing this more. I did not know about this. It's the Batter Up promotion with Tipico. Wager $30 or more on the Guards or the Reds, and you will get a $2 credit for every hit of those two local teams. So it's like, dude, you're doubling up. You bet 30 on the Guardians to win. You win that bet, and then how many hits did they have last night? That's right. That's $20 thrown right back to you, man. Tipico's where it's at, baby. Let's roll. Let me get on our promotion, though. Here we go. So there's two ways you can do it. You can just go to Boost, or you can go to the game itself. So I'm going to go to MLB. We got a 110 start today. Logan Allen on the hill. Boosts. We have 3 boosts for you. Plus 1,700. Bing, bang, boom. Give it to me, baby. I'm in. Tipico. Use that code Fontana150 when you get signed up. There you go. I'm in. Other boosts for this game. Nerfy. None for Diamondbacks, Nationals, Rays, Twins, Mariners, Guardians. Plus 591. This one's tough because I don't want the Twins to win. Boosted parlay on Tipico. Guards to beat the Mariners. Nationals to beat the Diamondbacks. And the Twins to beat the Rays. I like it. Oh, there's an imperfect Nerfy. But this is a run scored. So it's not really a true Nerfy. It's actually to have a run scored. 3 out of the 4 for a run to be scored in the first inning. Mariners, Guards, Diamondbacks, Nationals, Rays, Twins, Astros, White Sox. Plus 191. You just need 3 out of 4. Imperfect's where it's at with Tipico. Get betting there. Want to remind everybody, too, our giveaway for our merch. We're going to announce our winner tomorrow for the perfect Immaculate Grid last week. So go follow at Matt Fontana Show. Retweet and reply with your favorite NFL player of all time. Let's not forget about our Garage Beer. Show us your meat that you can check out at Drink Garage Beer on Twitter. Retweet with a picture of a Garage Beer and some meat on the grill, and you'll be entered to win a brand new prize pack there. Brand new grill, little apron from our friends at Garage Beer and Heinen's. That going on. And my racehorse, dude, I don't know why I saw this on Reflog. You know he changed his bio that he says he's a racehorse owner? Because he is!
So did Dave.
Because he is! Go to my racehorse. Lahaina Luck is our horse. You can buy a share for $60. And you're in on the horse. Dividends potentially, always risk a loss, but still you're in on this horse. So go check it out with the Big Play Horse. Just follow that on Twitter, and you'll see the link to where you can get that done. All right, I'm excited for Spencer. He's going to join us next. And I want to talk, where is Borrego? Where is Donovan Mitchell at? Jared Allen potential trades. We'll get it all with Spencer. He joins us next. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here on Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. And you saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something?
Big guy's looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone. And at even odds. If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today. All right? Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party. Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
Jumping the gun. Welcome back. I just can't wait to get to Spencer. He's going to join us here in a second, talking everything with the Cavs. I think this has been an interesting kind of like week plus for the Cavs, where I was like, every day I was like, all right, when are we hiring a guy? When are we hiring a guy? And then here we are. Are you shocked that we still don't have that Cavs head coach at this point?
Well,
I am floored.
Why haven't they announced JJ Redick yet? Like, what's the holdup?
I don't know. Like, would you not rather have Monty Williams for that job?
The Lakers?
Yeah.
No.
I'm
a Monty Williams hater.
Okay. I mean, that is like, okay, you're taking the ultimate swing here on JJ Redick. And I know people that defend him a lot. He's really smart. That's great. Are you commanding respect in that locker room? I get it. You're a former player. But I would almost rather go with a guy that is a two-time coach of the year, that is somebody that has had star players before, has been to the finals. Like, I think that fits more of what the Lakers need. But if they're so entrenched with Redick, like, I feel like here's like a lifeline for them, right? They went after Hurley. It didn't happen. Are they still all in on JJ Redick? Well, no, man, here you go. Here's your lifeline. And I keep asking this about JJ. Do you really want that job? You're the top analyst at ESPN. Do you really want to enter that coaching realm? Because here's my other question. Are you ready to eat, sleep, and breathe this thing? You could be the smartest basketball mind in the world. You can be the smartest football mind in the world. If you're not somebody that's ready to grind and do that as the coach that your players need, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. And when I see JJ with a nice cushy media job that's probably getting a lot of money, he can do that for the next 30 years and be done. I don't know how you walk away from that. I don't know. Spencer Davies not walking away from us. Appreciate you, man. Hoop Industry, Cavs Insider as well. Spin Davies on Twitter. Check out Fan Nation, part of the podcast there, and all the great stuff on Instagram as well, at Spin Davies. Got a lot of Cavs, Spencer, to talk about, but I just want to, let's start here. We're talking Monty Williams. What do you think that does to shake this up, either for the Lakers or a potential shake-up for the Cavs of what happened with Monty Williams getting fired yesterday?
I just think it opens up another position. I don't think there's much other than that. I think that Monty's probably going to take some time and figure out his own steps. And I don't know if he's going to be getting back into coaching as soon as, kind of what Woj reported was that he got blindsided by that entire ordeal. So he's probably going to take some time, obviously hope for the best of health for his family. And obviously he's got a lot going on off the court there. So I don't think that necessarily changes what the Cavs are doing or necessarily what the Lakers are doing. It just opens another spot up for a potential candidate. And obviously, James Borrego has been the hot name on the market, so to speak, for the Lakers and the Cavs. So, just potentially another opportunity for him to weigh his options and look at what's possible for, whoever's out there.
That's my fear, Spencer, is that there's a clear connection with Trajan Langdon up there in Detroit. They were both in New Orleans. Do you have a fear that the Cavs might miss out on Borrego? I was screaming. I go, do not let the Lakers steal James Borrego. Sign him. If he's your guy, go get him. And that's while the Dan Hurley stuff was going on. Now you have a whole nother viable option for James Borrego. Are you worried about him potentially getting stolen away from the Cavs?
Well, here's the thing. The Pistons, I still do believe, might be a better job from a standpoint of not having the spotlight on you and not having so much pressure on you like it would be in LA. But the thing is with the Pistons, you're going to have a niche there, right? You're going to have a young team that still needs developing, that still needs to figure out its identity versus the Cavs, who kind of do have an identity on the defensive end of the floor. And they just need some tweaking on the offense and the creativity there and what they have there personnel wise. So I don't necessarily think the Pistons are a threat to the Cavs in that, but if a coach wants to have something that's his own and wants something to mold and to grow versus something that's, I don't want to say ready-made, but has at least proven track record that they could get to the playoffs and advance and have incremental growth, then you look at it from that perspective. But it just depends on what the candidate wants. Does the candidate want to start something from scratch, or does it want something that's already kind of in the middle of it?
I saw a tweet, man. He goes, somebody said, JB be perfect for the Pistons. Like, JB would work pretty well up there to rebuild that team. So go ahead and send him up there. Spencer Davies joining us. Of course, follow him on Twitter and Instagram. Spin Davies, Hoop Industry, Cavs Insider, part of Fan Nation over there. Spencer, so I guess to come back to the Cavs coaching search, is it Borrego or bust? Like, are you buying Kenny Atkinson? Do you think there's a dark horse? Loaded question that I don't know if anybody has the answer. Why do we not have a head coach at this point?
If I could give you like my inkling, I will, but like reporting wise, I got nothing.
Right.
I got nothing because it's been, a few weeks since Kobe Altman talked at the end of the season.
It's like Kobe went on summer break and he goes, did I forget anything? He goes, did I leave the coffee pot on? Did I leave the garage? Oh, I forgot to hire a head coach. Wait a minute. Like where are they right now?
I know. Yeah, no, it from what's being reported, it feels like James Borrego's the guy that's in, the top of the list. Kenny Atkinson came in for an interview last week. We know that. Now that Dallas was eliminated from the finals and the season's over, maybe they take a look at Alex Jensen, as I had, stated a few weeks ago, as possibly being somebody who's connected to the organization, that coached the charge at the beginning of his career, has great ties with this front office, and obviously has ties with Donovan Mitchell from their time spent together in Utah. Maybe that's someone they look at. There's plenty of assistants out there. You look at Chris Quinn, obviously what he did in Miami next to Eric Spoelstra, and we've talked about the Spoelstra disciple tree before. There's plenty of candidates still out there that could probably throw their name in the hat, but I feel like the Cavs are pretty firm in their process right now and knowing who is at least the narrowed down field, right?
The other big thing, as we know, Spencer, it's Donovan Mitchell, and it sounds pretty good that he's going to get this extension done. He'll be here. But then we turn our attention to the inevitable trades, and, it's so much stuff that we're going to have a lot of conversation about right now. But it's like you factor in now Donovan reportedly likes Jared Allen as a teammate, so that's maybe sending a message, don't trade him away. You still got Garland hanging around. There's reports that Kobe doesn't want to trade any of them. Do you think that's just posturing? Do you still feel like it's a guarantee one of those guys gets moved? And how much would you factor in Donovan saying he wants Jarrett to stay?
Well, I think coming to his defense the way that he did with that, just a simple post on Instagram. It's funny how the news cycle works now, right? Someone posts a picture on Instagram and all of a sudden there's a big stir, right? but no, I think that maybe they're not getting the offers that they're wanting. Okay. And I feel like that might be the reason these feelers are being put out, that, okay, yeah, we'll just bring back the core four. And they really could. They could see how it works with a new coach. Maybe give them a certain amount of months to see, all right, is this going to work with these four? Do we have a big enough sample size after this? And after we have a more, sustainable offense and a more open offense, if you will. I still think this is just me just spitballing. I still think only 3 of the 4 will be back.
Yeah.
I don't know how they get there. I don't know which pairing is going to be the one they keep together, but it just seems like financially that's a really tough pill to swallow. And Evan Mobley's due for his max extension here coming up just in a little while. So I feel like that's a little bit tougher to keep together just from a financial standpoint, not even necessarily from the can they play together standpoint. That I feel like it would be the biggest factor here. And I don't know which, again, of the pairing that would be one to go, but it just feels like from a value standpoint, Jared Allen's at the highest at the moment. And maybe that's why, they might hold a king's ransom for him. And Darius Garland clearly, from what the higher reporters are putting out there is that the offers aren't good enough for him. So why would we just give something away and move somebody for something that we don't want?
Spencer Davies talking hoops with us, Hoop Industry, Cavs Insider, Fan Nation, part of that. Just follow Spencer on Twitter and IG at Spin Davies. Other side of that, Spencer, I've heard the Mikal Bridges as being like a, pie in the sky. There's all this Brandon Ingram stuff, the Pelicans. Anybody that you're keeping an eye on, attainable for the Cavs, fits what they're looking for, potentially targets that they would be trying to get?
From a target standpoint, I feel like we touched on that before. I just think in the mold of someone like, a Jeremy Grant, you look at, he's obviously got a huge contract, but then you look at, they have Malcolm Brogdon over there. I always thought that Brogdon would be a good fit with Donovan Mitchell, just a bigger guard who doesn't necessarily need the ball all that much, but can take possessions off of them, like that's the kind of fit. I honestly, now that it's been reported by the Hawks, and this is something that I just kind of was thinking out loud on before, but DeAndre Hunter makes a ton of sense, just as a guy that can really do the 3-and-D thing, put the ball on the floor every once in a while, but has an injury history, but could probably be had for a decent, comeback at a decent price in the trade market. Guys like that, I feel like make a lot more sense. You've got some guys that are, kind of on the bottom portion of that, like Dorian Finney-Smith made sense to me always. And he's kind of miscast there in Brooklyn, just, hasn't had the same type of shot profile that he's used to, maybe that we saw in Dallas when he was there before. So like guys of that ilk, like not the superstars, so to speak, but the margins guys, right? Those are the ones that make the difference. And we saw that in Boston. I know it's completely different. It's not a wing issue, but they had Derek White and Drew Holiday over the course of the last year and a half, completely changed the makeup of that team. So, you look at those type of marginal moves and that really gets you places.
That got me thinking about Karis LeVert of deals like that, where I take DeAndre Hunter here too. I would for the right deal. Do you think it's all but that he would have to eventually get thrown into some sort of deal, right? Do you think percentage chance, just your own gut, like Karis being back on this team next year, 50-50?
That's a good question, especially because you see the redundancy. He was a huge part of being a sixth man, and as the year progressed, you could just tell that the injury kind of kept bothering him, I guess. And there were a lot of soft tissue injuries, and that could be due to the usage of how much they were playing in the regular season, and might have affected them come playoff time. But percentage-wise, I don't know. We'll put it at 75, 80. Okay. I just don't know. Okay. I just don't know right away. I don't know about the summertime making, kind of any kind of brash moves.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see what happens at the draft. They've got a pick there in the 20s. Actually, they do have a pick at number 20 itself. See what happens in the draft. And then obviously the coach has to really kind of evaluate this roster too.
We're like, we want to make all these moves, and Borrego could come in here and be like, no, I keep that guy here. I'm glad you mentioned the draft, because Ryan and I have gone back and forth on this. And again, knowing that this is all in Kobe's hand and there's a lot to play out. But Spencer, I wonder about that 20 pick. I read the mocks because I love mock drafts. I don't know what to tell you. So I got baseball, basketball, and football right now, suffice me, which is great. And I've seen different ones of the forwards, right? Like I've seen some of the Zach Eves or the Kyle Filipowskis or that kid out of Baylor, which Eves Ennis. I was like, there's something there with me with that kid. But I saw one the other day that was a guard. And then we got into the debate about, is Kobe going to enter that draft drafting for his team need, or drafting a guy that somebody else might want and that he could piece together with another trade or draft night trade or things like that? And again, none of us know that answer because it's Kobe Altman, and he's going to have to figure this out as we get approaching to the draft. But, that's another thing, as you very astutely pointed out. that's another factor that could be something of, yeah, we're going to draft this guy here so we don't have to go get them in free agency, or we don't have to go make this trade for a player like that. It's a lot to put on the 20th overall pick in the draft, which I get, but that's something else that you got to factor in when you think about the Cavs' moves this offseason.
Yeah, and it's not easy because, like we just said, the coach isn't in place, so we don't know. Yeah. We don't know the plan. I'm sure the front office has a plan. I'm sure they've been knee deep in paperwork and figuring out the scouting part of it. I'm sure that they've been doing that in addition to the coaching search. But you probably should have a coach in place for the draft.
Yeah.
It's just hard, not to. You draft someone and then they don't fit what the coach wants or what the coach needs to do. Not to say that they're going to get a ton of playing time as a rookie, or even maybe in their second year, they got to earn their spot in the rotation. But that's important. It's important to have someone in charge.
Absolutely. Spencer Davies joining us. Always appreciate your time, man. Anything NBA-wide that you're keeping your eye on? I want to say the lid lifter of the offseason, but we know all these moves. Like, I read an article today that said the real thing will be Donovan Mitchell's extension. I don't know if that impacts Paul George so much as it impacts LeBron, but what are you kind of watching from a big picture NBA standpoint for this offseason to really get started?
Domino's got to fall, and, the Lakers coaching hire, I feel like, will make a domino fall. Okay. We don't know whether it's going to be Borrego. Are they going to offer JJ Redick? They haven't done that yet. They've, interviewed him and talked to him a couple of times, but they haven't actually offered him the position. So figure out what happens in LA, and then maybe that kind of just causes, the dominoes to fall. And with this Pistons, all of a sudden this Pistons opening, see how it affects what the Cavs do. And what their, kind of prospects of a coaching hire are. But again, I don't think it's that much of a threat. I just think it just opens up another job.
Spencer, always appreciate your time, man. We're going to get you down here, too. We'll get you down in the studios for maybe around draft, maybe something like that as we get rolling on. Follow him on Twitter, @SpinDavies. Check out the podcast, Hoop Industry. It's all over the place. Appreciate you, bro. Get back out on the golf course. All right, Spencer sent me his and I've seen that, too, before, man. I've done the same thing you have. You had a great front nine. We won't talk about the back nine. It's all good, though. Been there, man. Been there. Hey.
Yes, sir. Stay cool.
Speaking of that, I'll shoot you the text. We got a little golf thing coming up here at Big Play. We'll get you the invite, all right?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll see you there. Appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
There you go, Spencer Davies. Follow him on Twitter, @SpinDavies. I mean, like, that's the toughest thing. And I appreciate Spencer's insight so much about it, but it's like, yeah, it's a lot of unknowns. It's a lot of things that even like Kobe Altman does not have in his own power, right? Is it in his power to go sign James Borrego? Is James Borrego telling them, hey, man, pump the brakes. I want to see what these other deals got going on. Right? The draft, what's going to happen there? But he and I are on the same page. One of the core four is not coming back. That I'm not saying that Kobe is lying, because what he is saying is they don't want to trade somebody. Well, sometimes, and I say this to my 3-year-old, you got to do things you don't want to do, buddy. You don't want to brush your teeth this morning? Sorry, time to brush your teeth. You're going to have to trade one of those guys. You know the two it's not going to be, and I think there's a third on that list you could probably put that's most likely not going to be in Jared Allen. Right? Am I wrong on that?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's going to be Darius Garland. And I don't care if the cat's out of the bag. Still make the deal.
I think it's going to be Darius?
I think Darius getting traded.
I think it's going to be Jared.
No, I think it's going to be Darius. I think Darius gone. I think you got to factor in that if Donovan Mitchell really wants Jared Allen here.
But what in the world can you possibly get for Darius?
I mean, he's a former All-Star.
No, I just mean from the sense of, like...
I mean, the money has got to work, so it's not as simple as me saying, oh, just make this trade for this guy. Like, I just think... I know that it's tough because it hurts value of the teams, but they're also all professionals. You, me, everybody, and all the other 29 general managers know in the NBA, the Cavs are most likely trading Darius Garland. Whoops. So what? So what? And I know that they'll play hardball and they go, well, we got to trade him. Here's your leverage. Yeah, I don't have to trade him to you, man. I'll trade him over here. You want to drum up a lot of interest. Get Rich Paul on that, right? Is he not drumming up interest for Bronny? Dude, Bronny was in the news yesterday. He only worked out for 2 teams. Rich Paul goes, yeah, that's by design. Oh, wait, gee, who's Darius Garland represented by? Rich Paul. Get him involved. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. Let the draft finish out. They'll get their rookie deals done at Clutch. Bring Rich Paul into this and say, listen, you don't want to be here. Donovan is going to be here. We want to find the right package. You don't want to be here? Let's work together and get you out of here. It's not bad blood. I had no issue with Darius Garland. I like Darius Garland. He's a fine player. Bad year, broken jaw, sucks. He doesn't want to be here anymore, and we're ready for you to move on. Let's work together and figure this out. Rich Paul is very powerful. He can move some stuff here. Bring him on in and get it done.
Who's more powerful, him or Adele?
Well, in the NBA circle, it'll be Rich Paul. Power couple, though. Very power couple. Power couple of all. Strongest power couples.
Oh, and now it's got to be Swift and Kelsey.
Yes, that is number one. I would say it's no longer Bennifer. It's no longer Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck. What, they married a year? They're already selling their house?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Ooh, Ben Affleck was married to Jennifer Garner, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. They have, I think, 3 kids, something like that. They met on the Daredevil, and then they did Pearl Harbor.
Mm.
You know the movie about Pearl Harbor? You know what's historically accurate in that film? The only thing that's historically accurate in that film? That Pearl Harbor was bombed. That's it.
Really?
The rest of that movie, nothing. Nothing. None of that happened.
There wasn't Ben Affleck?
No.
He wasn't there?
He was not there. What movie? What clip? Oh, I just saw a clip from Armageddon the other day. Because somebody's talking about Cleveland, or somebody's talking about the weather in Ohio. You've seen Armageddon, right?
No.
Oh my God. Good flick. Good flick. They got to go up to blow up a meteor. So there's a meteor hurling itself at Earth, and it's going to kill us all. So they had 2 options. They're like, we need to go up and drill into this meteor and put a nuclear warhead into it to blow it up.
That's crazy. You just reminded me I had a dream last night the world ended.
No, don't do that to me. Please don't do that.
I'm just saying.
So they were debating. They're like, do we send astronauts up and teach them how to drill? And they go, no, it's actually easier to teach drillers how to become an astronaut. So long story short, Bruce Willis and his crew of people, they got to go up to the meteor. And it's, again, a great cast. Ben Affleck and Owen Wilson and all that kind of stuff. So they're talking to him. And they're explaining what the meteor is. And they go, there are canyons of razor sharp rock. It's 200 degrees in the sun and minus 200 degrees in the shade. And Owen Wilson goes, you could just say the worst environment imaginable. You could just end it at that. Somebody's talking about that. They're like 200 degrees in the sun. Are we not on a heat hood or something like that over Ohio? Did you read that?
No, I didn't read that.
There's something about, there's something over us right now that is just blistering heat.
I'm sweating right now.
Oh, this studio's horrible. I don't want to get started on that. But it's out. Oh, speaking of shirts, I meant to do this earlier. Shout out to my guys at Riverfront Clothing. Can you see that?
Kind of.
How's that?
There you go.
There we go. Shout out to them. My buddy Mike and his buddies, they started a clothing company. I tweeted it out. Go check them out on Instagram, Riverfront. You know what that font is. You know what that is. Some people still call it the Jake, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. So check them out. All right, you want to get the morning update? You ready to go? Let's do that. All right, we'll do this. Morning update, break, time hop, grid. Finish things on out with our Tipico boost. Ryan, take it away. Morning update. Ryan's got the stories. A little late, but nonetheless, let's get on to it. Morning update.
Alrighty, Matt. Well, the Guardians get even against the Mariners as they shut them out and get some revenge here. They look to close it out and win the series today. In fact, me and Nick will be doing a little live stream there with our friends at Tipico.
Oh, that's today. I forgot that was today. So check that out. I'll be watching when I get home. That'll be a lot of fun. Maybe I'll join you guys in some live bets.
There you go.
I'll do that. That's my thing.
Shtick.
I'll be sitting there with the baby today. The only reason unfortunately, I'm sad I couldn't be there for this, but I'm going to be joining you guys in some live bets. I'm all for it. Sorry, talk about the game. Close it on out. I'm so drunk on my bets. Like, I was already thinking like Nerfy and dude, I just get on the hits, man. I love sitting there watching and betting on, like, I'm going to bet 50 cents because we were getting $1, $2 on that. Let's get to the 50-cent range here on this. Like, this guy to get a hit, this guy to do this, whatever. So I'm excited for that. But close it on out. You win 2 out of 3 against a team like the Mariners. That's job well done. Get it going with Logan Allen, man. Again, we talk about Tristan McKenzie being on the teeter. I'm starting to think that about Logan Allen. Get a good start out there. Get it done. Keep the bats hot. Ramirez home run.
Naylor
Josh
RBI.
Naylor RBI. Guards win that, and we'll hit our boost. I love it.
Alrighty, Matt. Well, the NBA season is officially over, as we all know, and ESPN released their way too early NBA power rankings.
Okay.
Where do you think the Cavs would be in these rankings?
So let me say, I'm going to say Boston was 1.
Correct.
Nuggets were 2.
Correct.
Were the Timberwolves 3?
4.
Were the Thunder 3?
5. Just think-
Mavericks.
yeah.
Mavericks. Okay, Maverick. I would not put them there, but that's fine.
Who's 6?
So now we're down to 5. Okay, so wait, I'm sorry. So Boston's off.
Boston,
Denver.
Nuggets, Denver, Timberwolves, Thunder.
Mavs.
No, Mavs were 3.
Yeah, you said Nuggets and Denver. Like you said.
I meant
Denver.
Dallas.
Yeah,
I meant
know what you mean,
Dallas.
yeah.
Dallas.
So then I'm gonna have to say, okay, we got to go back to the East eventually.
Yes.
Bucks,
7.
76ers. Oh, Knicks.
Yes.
Knicks.
And
Okay, Knicks, then
76ers are 8.
76ers. Then the Bucks.
No, so Bucks are 7.
Okay.
Sixers are 8.
Sixers are 8. 9. Pacers, Clippers.
9 and 10.
Okay.
Wow.
Cavs gotta be 11.
The Cavs are 12.
Okay, 11 then would be Orlando.
Yep.
Yeah, that's got I get it. All right, 12. I think that's fair. I mean, the thing is, you're not just running it back, because I think if you're just running it back, 12 is where you're at. But the change, I mean, as we know, this could go bad. You could trade Darius Garland, you could trade Jared Allen, and it could go bad. You could actually be worse than you were. So I think as long as you wait to see the Cavs a little bit once the season starts and they make the right moves, you'll vault up. I will tell you this, of the teams ahead of you, are you still really afraid of Orlando? I'm not. I don't know about the Pacers. I think the Knicks are good. I am very worried about the 76ers getting Paul George. I am extremely worried. You know, they have enough cap space. They could sign him to a $50 million deal this year, and that's it. They don't even need to make any other moves. Then they have some room left over to go get keep Nick Batum, keep Kelly Oubre. I'm worried about Paul George going to the 76ers. Bucks, is that not like a fuse on its way to the bomb and just imploding? Is that not a countdown to implosion there?
As long as Giannis is healthy, I'll be scared.
I don't know. And I'm not trying to cast ill will on the Bucks, but they just seem like a team to me that's just, I don't know. So I would say, again, for the East, be the 5th, 6th, somewhere around there. I think that's pretty fair. The West, I think, is, all right, so again, 12. I'll take that for the Cavs. That's fine.
Alrighty, well, NBA insiders put together a list of trades that they would like to see happen this offseason. Let me know what you think about this.
Please.
Cleveland Cavaliers and New Orleans Pelicans. Cavaliers, they get Brandon Ingram and Dyson Daniels.
Okay.
Pelicans, they get Jarrett Allen and Max Strus.
No.
The write-up. As much as this is a talent swap, this potential deal also comes down to dollars and cents for both teams. Ingram, 26, is entering the final year of his contract with the Pelicans. If Ingram and his Camp Buck are talking anything less than $50 million per season, New Orleans could look into a trade.
I'm not. Max Strus is not untradeable for me. Nah, no.
Not even a debate.
I'd rather trade Karis than I would Max Strus. And I love Karis LeVert. But I think I'm holding on to Max Strus. And I just don't want to trade out. So I would say probably not.
Alrighty, well, Tiger Woods' son, Charlie Woods.
Did you have other trades? Do you have other trades?
Oh, I can pull them up.
Can you? Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that on you. I wanted to see
no.
some of the other trades and see if I would make those trades.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
I know you already clicked off of it, and on the next
No,
thing,
I got it.
Okay, go ahead. Let me watch the Madden. Let me watch the Madden trailer. Oh no, it comes out in 34 minutes at the end of our show.
This is a trade for the Knicks and Memphis. This would send to Memphis Mitchell Robinson. New York would get Luke Kennard and a future first-round pick.
I'd probably do that if I were the Knicks. I'd probably do that.
All right, Jazz make a win-now move. Utah Jazz, they get Zach LaVine and Alex Caruso.
Okay.
And the Bulls get Jordan Clarkson, John Collins, and a 2025 first-round pick. That's Cleveland's pick, actually.
I would not do that, actually. And Zach LaVine's fine. Like, John Collins, probably better when he was in Atlanta. Clarkson's fine.
I missed this one. Another Cavs one.
Okay, you got another Cavs one. Go.
This was with Brooklyn.
Okay.
It says Brooklyn lands its point guard of the future. No.
No! All right.
Brooklyn Nets, they get Darius Garland and George Niang.
Okay.
The Cavaliers get Cameron Johnson, Dennis Schroeder. I like Dennis Schroeder.
I do like Dennis Schroeder.
2025 first-round pick and a 2029 first-round pick. I might take that.
Wait, it was Garland and who? Niang.
Yeah.
I'd listen to that. I'd listen to that deal. I'd probably make that deal.
I think I would too.
Inglorious bastard. Sounds like a damn good deal to me. You make that deal, I'd make that deal.
All right, this is between the Kings and the Wizards. The Kings get Kyle Kuzma. Washington Wizards get Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes and a future first-round pick.
that's a name one more than anything. I think they really like Harrison Barnes there. But again, for the Kings, I think they need a little splash, shake things up. I'd probably make that move too.
Alrighty, well, that was it.
All right, good.
Alrighty, now Tiger Woods' son, Charlie Woods, the 15-year-old son, earned his way into the first USGA championship on Wednesday when he had the leading score among qualifiers for the U.S. Junior Amateur next month at Oakland Hills. And, man, I wanted to ask you this question.
Yes.
Who has more pressure, LeBron's son or Tiger's son?
I mean, here's the thing. Charlie seems to be really good, you know? I think there's more pressure on Bronny. I really do. And Charlie's younger, but it's like, I guess the easiest way for me to explain this is Tiger is almost like royalty, so they'll love Charlie even if he's shooting 6 over. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's something there where golf fans that are so enamored with Tiger, they're just going to love Charlie no matter what. They're just happy he's out there. Bronny, and I'm not, I'm not saying that Tiger isn't a polarizing figure either, but like, I don't know. There's just something about like LeBron, maybe. You get what I'm saying? Like, people revere Tiger, so they're just going to love Charlie no matter what. They love John Daly Jr. because they just love the story, right? There's no pressure on them. They just want to see him out there hitting bombs.
I didn't even know there was a John Daly Jr.
Oh, yeah. He looks exactly like his old man. He's making it into Korn Ferry Tour events, too, already now. You know? So I just think that people that love Tiger, they're just going to inherently love Charlie, and there won't be much pressure on him. And it sounds like he's pretty good golfer. Kick my ass out there. I'd give him 6 strokes aside at minimum. Minimum right now. What's he, 17? 15. Slap me all around that course, man. It's taking my money left and right. That's how it goes. All right, great stuff with the morning update. You know, it takes my money every day if we'd bet on it.
Oh, God.
Damn Grid, man.
Thank God.
Damn you, Grid.
Money on it, man.
Maybe we start getting Tipico on that. There's no way. The sanctity. I mean, again, we made parameters now. We put rules on it for now, the Immaculate Grid. Let's see how it goes. Up and down, left and right. The damn Bears again. Who do you think are our biggest teams that give us the biggest issue?
100%.
Commanders, I feel like the Saints always screw us up too. And the Bears. I feel like we never work well with the Bears. Never do. But here we are. They're in. Player left and right, up and down, and 1,000-yard career rushing season at a point. Ryan? Sorry. Go.
All right, Broncos. I mean,
Terrell Davis.
Right. Is it 1 L or something?
No, it should be two R's. Terrell.
Terrell Davis. 95 to 01.
Yes. You could do Marshawn Lynch. He didn't play. Did he not? Did he need to go to Baltimore?
Marshawn?
Yeah, no. All right, so Marshawn Lynch.
Or should we do OJ?
You could. Orenthal James. The bus. All right, we open ourselves on up now. Anything screaming to you right now? Ravens, Bills feel like there should be.
Ravens, Broncos seems like there's something screaming at me.
I mean, I thought Kyle Bowler for a second. But I don't think that's right. All
right, Ravens, Steelers.
All right, Ravens, Steelers. Well, he hadn't played yet. Patrick Queen. Kevin Zeitler's played for everybody in the AFC North except the Steelers, right? Holy cow.
This is the Immaculate Grid week from hell.
I know, it's been pretty. I'm glad we're getting the bad ones out of the way. I know we're overthinking it. There's something easy there that I'm not thinking about right now. Yeah, man, maybe not. This might be a really hard one for us today. I just brain locked right now. We just need to get one to get back off the schneid and kind of get moving here. Bears, Bills, Bears, Steelers. DJ Moore, no. Brandon Marshall. Does Brandon Marshall? No, he doesn't work for the Broncos, right? Didn't he work Broncos? Are you sure he doesn't work Broncos Bears? Are you sure?
I don't remember him.
I think so.
Maybe. I don't remember him in Denver.
Yeah, he's drafted by the Broncos.
Was he?
Yeah. Brandon Marshall.
And he played for the Bears, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Brandon Marshall works. All right. Bears, Bills. I want to say Kyle Orton. I feel like Kyle Orton works. Want to rip it? Just see. All right. I thought so. All right. Bears Steelers. Duh.
Wait, don't tell me.
Oh.
No, he hasn't played a game for the Steelers yet.
What do you mean?
Justin Fields?
No. No, another quarterback. Another quarterback. Another failed first-round pick for the Bears. It went to the Steelers.
What?
If I pointed that way.
What does that mean?
What's that way?
North?
No. No sense. That is east, right?
Okay.
What is one of the biggest suburbs on the east side of Cleveland?
What?
Their high school goes by the Cardinals.
Huh.
Mitchell
Forgot about
Trubisky. Menor, Trubisky. Yes, that works right there. All right. Baltimore. Odell doesn't work for any of those spots. Quarterbacks. Well, what does Josh Johnson work for one of those at some point somewhere?
I'm sure he does.
I want to say Pittsburgh, but I don't know that for sure. Okay, running backs. Shady McCoy. Did he ever play in Baltimore?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, Jamal Lewis?
Yeah, but where else did he
Did
go?
he play in Denver?
I don't think so. He played here. I don't know where else he went. I like where your head's at, but I don't think so. Le'Veon Bell obviously didn't go to the Ravens. Quarterbacks, again, if I had to rip one, I would rip Kyle Bowler to the Broncos, but I don't. No, it would not have worked. I would not have worked there. What about Trent Dilfer?
I was just about to say him.
Trent Dilfer, but I don't think he ever went to any of those other spots. Want to check the YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, Jim, they got a lot in the YouTube. Jay Cutler. That must have been before we got
that. Was Jay Cutler worked for Bears Broncos. That's a really good one too.
Joe Flacco for.
Oh yeah,
Was
duh,
he in the
Broncos. Yeah, duh. Yeah. That's the one that was slapping us in the face that we didn't think of. That's 100% what it was. Joe Flacco. Well done. All right.
Cordell Stewart.
Steelers Ravens. That works. Yeah. Cordell Stewart works. Steelers Ravens. Well done. Cordell Stewart is correct. All right, Bills.
Willis McGahee. That must.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Is that Bills Ravens?
Yeah. Yep. 100%. And Browns, by the way, too. Should have thought of that. Willis McGahee. Well done.
Dude, we're so good at this.
I know. We just need everybody else's help to get it done. Most popular picks? Oh, Mitchell also works for the Bills and the Bears, too, huh?
Right.
Who's the Steelers-Bears one? Oh, Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool.
Man, didn't
Any you want to see?
No, that's all right. We got a lot of them right there. So well done. All right, that's another grid. Unfortunately, the streak is broken for this week, but we just still like to get the juices flowing a little bit on that. You want to get the juices flowing a little bit of time? I'll tell you what happened this day on the summer solstice, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
We going right into it?
Yeah, might as well. All right, here we go. We always tell you what happened this day in history. It is June 20th, so do you know that today is the summer solstice? It is the longest day of the year.
Yes, I did in fact know that.
I'm waiting. Like, dude, even at night right now, it's not even cooling down. God, like, dude, look out for everybody out there. If you've got neighbors that don't have air conditioning, invite them over for a cocktail or beverage or whatever. Like, we got to look out for
You know
some
who Lonnie Phelps is?
Browns
Browns defensive end?
No, why?
Just said breaking. Browns defensive end Lonnie Phelps arrested for DUI last night.
Probably not good. I'm assuming he won't be on the Cleveland Browns very much longer.
The Browns signed into a futures contract end of last season.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that DUI is not a good thing. DWIs, Justin Timberlake, not very good. But especially if you're a guy.
Justin Timberlake. Did you see his mugshot?
Yeah, dude, he was hammered.
So they said if I ever send you this picture and it was his mugshot, that means come pick me up.
Yeah, get an Uber, drive safe. But especially when you are like when you're one of the, like a fringe guy in the NFL. And again, I'm not saying anybody should be doing it, but that's pretty much how you lose a job. Right there. All right, 1 year ago today, I mean, it's kind of ironic. We're dealing with this right now. Ryan, 1 year ago today, Tristan McKenzie was shut down with a sprained UCL. He would not pitch again until the end of the season, missing months. And that was 1 year ago today. And it sounds like, is this still a problem?
I think you got to shut him down again.
Is that a problem still? Is it strained? Is it torn? I mean, obviously it's not torn. He would need surgery. But what I'm saying is, usually is not a sprain a small tear? Isn't that the medical lingo for that? Did it heal itself? And I'll just say, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Anytime a pitcher that you hear that they're going to try to rehab their UCL, it never works, and they always have to go get Tommy John anyway. Like, and he had injury problems in the minors. Everybody said, like, oh.
You should be a doctor, you're right.
A sprain is a small tear. That's what a sprain is. Is that all I need to get in medical
school? You should go to med school.
Just remember.
Watch one episode of House.
I'm going to start watching House. I finally paid for Peacock.
Thank you. I want to talk about it with you.
And I've been like looking for a show.
You know it's Mike Tomlin's in it?
Is he?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, he's not, but the dude looks just like him.
Oh, you're talking about...
his name's Foreman in the show.
Yeah, but isn't that Omar Epps?
Yeah.
Because he also was in Major League.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, the second Major League. When Wesley Snipes didn't want to play Willie Mays Hayes anymore, they just flipped on over to Omar Epps. Sorry to him, it didn't quite do as well as the first one, very clearly. No, so basically I'm like a stay-at-home dad, so I just sit home with my daughter. They stopped playing Parks and Recs on IFC every day. So I used to just watch that Mondays and Tuesdays. Then Wednesdays are a weird day. Today's a great day. I've got golf up until baseball at 1 o'clock. But I told myself, I go, when I sit down with the baby, I'll just turn House on.
Yes, do it.
I'll just watch that in the background as I get through. So I'm excited for that. So I'd just be a doctor. I was going to say, remember, though, that for every doctor that tells you that they were in the top 10% of their class, there's always doctors that finished in the bottom 10% of their class, and they're still doctors. So just remember that. We go back to this day, 2019, the NBA draft. Zion Williamson goes number 1. The Cavs took Darius Garland at 5, Dylan Windler at 26, and Kevin Porter Jr. at 30. Kevin Porter Jr., a lot of skill, man, but just couldn't keep it together, man. The locker room thing that necessitated him leaving. He was pissed that they moved his locker. Is Zion a bust? So that draft, Zion goes 1.
Well, for
Ja
what he was supposed to
Morant
be, yeah.
goes 2. RJ Barrett 3. DeAndre Hunter goes 4. Darius Garland 5. And I really think, it's funny, we had Spencer on. He brought up Cam Johnson, who went after him in this draft. Like, here's the draft after Darius Garland. Tell me if you'd rather have any of these guys. Jarrett Culver.
No.
Kobe White.
No. No.
Rui Hachimura.
No. No.
Cam Reddish.
No.
Cameron Johnson.
No.
PJ Washington.
No.
Tyler Hero.
Yes.
Okay. Those are all guys that are like right about after the Darius Garland pick. Daniel Gafford went in the second round in this one. Bol went in the second round in this one. Again, I look back and I would say you made the right pick there with Darius Garland. And in fact, this? Here, look at this real quick. There are only 3 players in this entire draft that have made an all-star team. Zion, John, Darius Garland. That's it. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And I feel like you have those drafts, like some of those drafts you look at 04 and you're like, wow, or, look at all these guys. This one, you have 3 guys that made an all-star team. It's just a crapshoot on the given year of what you got there. So they made the right pick. And again, I think the swing and miss you had on Kevin Porter Jr., you saw the talent. And he He just couldn't get it done here. Just couldn't get it done. It is what it is. This day, 2013, LeBron and the Heat win their second title. They beat San Antonio 95-88 in Game 7. This day, 1998, the Indians retired Bob Lemon's number. Could you name all the retired numbers for the Guardians, do you think?
Not a shot.
How many do you think you could name?
Honestly, Matt, none.
Okay. Earl Averill, 3. Lou Boudreau, 5. Larry Doby, 14.
Actually, I can name one.
Okay.
42.
Well, yes, across the league. Mel Harder, 18. Bob Feller, 19. Frank Robinson, 20. Bob Lemon, 21. Most recently, Jim Thome, 25. And Jackie Robinson, 42. Do you think 11 makes it one day? Do you think 11 for Jose Ramirez will be retired?
Yes.
For taking the deal that he did?
Yes.
Probably. Probably. Which sucks. Not that it would ever impact me. 11 was my baseball number.
Nice.
I always wanted sticks.
I was 6.
That's a good number. It's a good baseball number, but I always wanted 11. Jose's got a good number, and I think it'll be retired one day. This day, 1996. The Indians beat the Yankees 5-4. It was not only their 13th straight win, it was their 17th consecutive game with hitting a home run that set a team record. They beat Roger Clemens. I'm bringing this up just for this insane number. He went 8 innings, 157 pitches, and still took the loss. Dude, we don't even see guys hit 100 pitches. They pulled that guy in the no-hitter last week. He only had 80. It's all these
He was
things
probably
about
throwing straight fastball.
Well, the thing is, they all get freaked out about how many pitches because the obviously, very clearly, me going back to Matt Fontana doctor school here, the more pitches you throw, the more prone you are to UCL injuries and arm injuries and all that kind of stuff. But what they are starting to account for, everybody throws a sweeper now. Everybody throws some sort of breaking pitch. You want to know why Bob Feller didn't have arm issues? Because he threw fastballs. That was it. It was fast enough and had enough movement. He didn't need to do anything else. That was it. But Roger Clemens, 157 pitches in a loss. This day, 1903, driver Barney Oldfield completed the first mile a minute at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I can do that math. He went 60 miles an hour. And first minute mile at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. All right, a ton of movies today, but we start with birthdays. Len Dawson, Terrell Pryor, which I think he always gets slept on for Ohio State quarterbacks. LeVar Arrington. Do you know who Cale Sanderson is?
I don't think so.
Wrestler. He was the only person in NCAA history to wrestle 4 years and go undefeated.
Nice.
He won 4 straight national championships for Iowa State. He was undefeated in 4 years of wrestling.
Isn't the Big Ten just like cracked?
Oh, they're cracked. You don't even touch anybody in the Big Ten is where it's at. And he's the head coach at Penn State. Penn State is one of the powerhouses now. They've kind of surpassed Iowa, and he's the head coach there. Happy birthday goes out to Darren Sproles, Nicole Kidman, Lionel Richie, John Goodman. I know Reflog tweeted about Walter Sobchak from The Big Lebowski. Christopher Mintz-Plasse, McLovin from Superbad, and Cyndi Lauper, all celebrating birthdays today. All right, dude, 6. Are you ready for 6 in the movies and TV shows?
I think I'm going to go 6 for 6.
All right, we'll see. All right, we start with our television show that debuted this day, 2018. Your hint is this movie has now had...
Didn't you just say it was a TV show?
Yeah, what did I say?
Then you just said this movie.
Oh, I'm sorry, this television show. It's a TV. Here's the thing. They got a movie coming out about the TV show.
All right.
TV show debuted this day, 2018. Paramount Network. Popular, excuse me. There's now been a spin-off series. There was a prequel series. And now a movie is in development for this television show. It follows the Dutton family.
Dutton.
The Dutton family. Owners of one of the largest ranches in Montana.
Oh my God. Oh, Kevin Costner?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yellowstone.
Yellowstone is correct. Kevin Costner, Cole Hauser, Kelly Riley. Hot. Very hot.
Every mom like 40 years or older is obsessed with that show.
Yeah, I don't know the excitement around it, but
I don't either.
I just know it's a really popular one. All right, we go back. Now these are all films. The rest of the actually, no, I take that back. We have one more TV show, but here start our films. A movie that came out this day, 2003. This is a bit of a forgotten superhero movie that they ended up remaking in the MCU.
In the MCU.
In the MCU.
Like,
this movie came out in 2003. Obviously, it was a part of Marvel, but then they just basically forgot it, recast, and redid the movie. And then they recast it again, actually.
and they did it, like, this is the MCU where it's like, because, like, there hasn't been a Fantastic Four movie in the MCU, right?
It's not Fantastic Four.
But I'm saying that's what I'm getting at.
Right.
Okay.
That doesn't count because they've remade that. They've made
Yes.
this movie in the MCU.
Okay.
Like, it's not Iron Man because Iron Man was made in the MCU. It's
Yeah.
not Captain America
No,
because it
I
was
know.
made and then it's off that. It's the only other one that I would say. And again, they also then recast this again. Trying to let you get to your 5 for 5, man. We're running out of time.
Hulk?
Hulk is correct.
Oh.
How'd you overthink it? Eric Bana's Hulk. Have you seen Eric Bana's Hulk?
No, I don't know why I overthought that.
They made a Hulk movie with Eric Bana and Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, see, I
It
didn't
was
know that. I
okay,
didn't know that.
and then they completely redid it with Edward Norton, and then they did it again with Mark Ruffalo, and they had to recast him
The
again.
Edward
So
Norton
Hulk.
one's good.
Edward Norton one's great. Hulk this day, 2003. All right, we go back to a film that came out this day, 1997. It goes down as probably the worst version of this superhero on the big screen. And it involved nipples.
What? What do you mean it involved nipples?
There were nipples on the suit. And every time I watch this movie, I can't not stare at it, and it's creepy and it's weird.
Nipples? Can I get a little more?
It introduced a very popular villain for this this superhero that has actually not been on the big screen since. You and I just talked about this superhero and this particular villain talking about our future plans for one of these movies.
It's a Batman movie.
Correct.
97. Batman and Robin?
Correct.
All right.
You haven't seen it?
No. Is
There's
that's Clooney, right?
Clooney. There's nipples on the bat suit.
No, I've never seen it.
So Joel Schumacher, I trust me, I can get his whole background quickly here, but okay. So they made, Tim Burton made the first two, and then they said, hey, these aren't commercial enough for us. They're kind of dark. We don't like you anymore. We're going to go to this other guy named Joel Schumacher. So Joel Schumacher made Batman Forever. Great flick. Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. Great. So then Joel Schumacher got a little crazy for Batman and Robin, and he went out there a little bit. There's overt sexual themes in there. Joel Schumacher once famously said that he slept with over 1,000 men. He was gay. It was very clearly obvious in the movie. I liked Mr. Freeze. There's nipples on the batsuit. There's nipples on the batsuit.
What the hell?
Yep. And it was commercialized as hell.
Why would he do that?
That was his thing, man. That's what he did. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I guess stare at nipples on the batsuit in Batman and Robin. They had to do all, remember, like, oh, you haven't seen it. There's a whole scene that they go on ice and there's a brand new Batmobile. Why? So they can just sell a new Batmobile to the kids. Batman and Robin, this day, 1997. All right, next up, this day, 1980. A film that is one of the most popular SNL skits to ever be made into a movie.
What year?
1980.
An SNL skit turned into a movie.
Correct. It's before Night at the Roxbury. It's not Wayne's World.
Man, I don't know if I'm going to get it.
It's I would say a musical movie because they sing throughout it, and it's awesome. Well, I loved this movie as a kid. I still do to this day. It's a pair of brothers. Pair of brothers. They need to raise money for the orphanage that they were born into, so they have to go on the road and get their band back together. The band! Elwood! The band!
No idea.
The Blues Brothers. So it started as an SNL skit with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. And it was one of the, Animal House was, no, that's National Lampoons, I guess. That wasn't really SNL. But, like, Blues Brothers was just a skit that they did on SNL, and then they made a feature film out of it. Great movie. Like, dude, Aretha Franklin was in that. James Brown was in that. Good movie. Good-ass movie with the Blues Brothers. I'll have some dry white toast. Four whole chickens. This next one. 1975.
1975. Okay. Don't just look at me like I'm supposed to know that off of 1975.
You're supposed to know this one.
What is that?
I don't play on this one.
Jaws?
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Watch it in honor. Think of me on the commentary. Jaws, this day 1975. All right, final one. A television show that started this day 1948. Before Letterman,
There was TV in 1948.
Yeah. Before Letterman, before Leno, there was.
I almost just said Dick Clark.
No, okay, you're not wrong. You're not off the beaten path here with Dick Clark, but it's not Dick Clark.
Walter Cronkite?
No, that's a little CNN action there, wherever he was. And it's probably wasn't even CNN, whatever, not news. Like late night television. Two of the most famous late night television shows of all time. It wasn't
Johnny Carson.
It wasn't Johnny Carson. What's the other one?
Shit.
What's the other one? Not Johnny Carson. It's where Letterman did his show forever. At the blank blank theater. The name of this guy, the blank blank theater.
Oh, Apollo?
No. No. It's one word, not blank blank, but okay.
Shit.
The Ed
Sullivan
Show. The Ed Sullivan Theater, which is where Letterman was at for a long time. The Ed Sullivan Show came out this day, 1948, and debuted. All right, pretty good day on that. You know, it's going to be a pretty good day.
Are you talking about the boost?
You want to do the boost? You want to do the bracket? What'd you have for bracket? Going to be a good finals. Ooh, Fowler's Mill, Manakiki. I think that's pretty fair. So those are our finals for the best golf course in Northeast Ohio.
What's your vote?
I would say I've played the Quarry more than any of those other courses. And I also shot my career best at the Quarry. So I will go with the Quarry.
What should I vote for? I've had you vote for me the whole week.
Probably Sleepy Hollow. That's no shot at Manakiki, and I've never played Fowler's Mill. Oh, what am I? Wait a minute. I've played Fowler's Mill. Oh, no. I was thinking of somewhere else. Oh, my God. I don't know why. I've played Fowler's Mill a lot.
Isn't that the one you said your buddy works at?
Why am I so confused right now? Stand by. I'm Googling the golf course. Am I an idiot? I think I am.
Besides the point.
I'm trying to look at the layout here.
By the way, Stephen Kwan is 90%.
Oh, for who'd you give the contract extension to? Dude, why? Oh, my God.
What are you doing?
I can't. I literally. I can't remember. I've played Fowler's Mill 10 times. What am I thinking of? I swear to God, my brain is. I think it's the heat in here. I think it's finally getting to me. Speaking of the heat, don't need any of that today, buddy. Crank that AC. Crank it, Naylor. Crank it, Jose Ramirez. Guards win. Tipico. Code Fontana150. Get signed up. New customers deposit $150 with code Fontana150 to $75. Protected bets. And you'll be on your way there with our friends at Tipico. Terms to supply, new customers only. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAME. Mike is that's exactly what I'm misremembering. Tony had his shootout. Tony Grossi's shootout was at Fowler's Mill for years.
I don't know what that is, so.
Oh, girl, it was Grossi's shootout. Like, we would do golf. There was a time when I was at K&R, we did 3 golf outings a year. And Tony always had his at Fowler's Mill. That's, like, I don't know what I was thinking. I know Fowler's Mill. I'll probably still go the Quarry, but Fowler's Mill's a great track.
I'll go
great
for that
track.
then.
Yeah, I seriously, I cannot remember. God. What's the one right off the highway out on the east side that actually I don't even think we put in? Quail Hollow. That's it.
That's the one.
I've never played Quail Hollow, and that's where my buddy works. I swear to, I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it. You're going to need to cut me off on this show, man. Quail Hollow is the one that I was thinking of. Good Lord. We'll end it on that. My brain. All right, that's it for us. Back for Friday. Hey, go retweet our tweet at Matt Fontana Show for a chance to win a merch package from us here at Big Play. And all you got to do is retweet it and reply with your favorite NFL player. I'll retweet it at Matt Fontana 83. Get that going. We'll announce our winner tomorrow on a beautiful Friday edition. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. I'm going to go play Fowler's Mill. As always, take it easy.